crypto, the notion that SEC Chairman Gary Gensler is quitting has swept Twitter. John Deaton, an attorney who is in favor of XRP, challenges with regulators have been a major stumbling point for Ripple and its digital currency XRP. John Deaton, an authority in cryptocurrency litigation, explains how the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has stymied XRP's development. An advocate for XRP, attorney John Deaton, recently turned to Twitter to voice his displeasure with the cryptocurrency's performance after the implementation of the Ripple v's Securities and Exchange Commission secured litigation. Following its recent investment in Circle, a significant USDC stablecoin on its platform, Coinbase has released a statement explaining that it spoke with SEC lawyers before deciding to list XRP. Without the SEC case, Deaton says Coinbase could have gone with Ripple instead of Circle. It's interesting to compare the transaction times of Coinbase's XRP and Circle's USDC, which were both published around the same time. The process of getting XRP back on Coinbase was more involved than just another purchase. Due diligence was required, and it was carried out with great care to guarantee that all rules and regulations were followed to the letter. To successfully traverse the regulatory environment, Coinbase took preventative precautions by communicating with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). This interaction was essential in establishing the legitimacy of XRP as a digital asset rather than a security. There was a meeting between the SEC and Coinbase to talk about how to categorize XRP. Coinbase and the SEC had a conversation on XRP, and interestingly, the SEC did not raise any objections. John Deaton, the CEO of Coinbase, released a statement in which he expressed optimism about the company's regulatory harmony in light of its plans for an initial public offering. Deaton has seen that Coinbase has been actively promoting XRP and another stablecoin, USDC, during the last several months. When compared to the time and effort required for conventional bank wire transfers, digital assets were seen as revolutionary by the exchange. An unexpected turn of events occurred during the intensive advertising campaign. Former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton's lawsuit against Ripple, which alleged that XRP was being traded illegally as a security, sent shockwaves across the cryptocurrency market. Despite the SEC's prior statements to the contrary, a complaint was filed challenging whether or not XRP should be considered a security. The SEC allowed MoneyGram International Inc.'s use of XRP in its international payment system 18 months ago, but that didn't stop the new legal action. The SEC allowed MoneyGram International Inc.'s use of XRP in its international payment system 18 months ago, but that didn't stop the new legal action. Deaton stresses the negative effect of legal disputes on XRP's future development. These obstacles have stopped us from taking full advantage of our situation and have cost us valuable time and resources. Timeline and justification of the appeal. David Schwartz, Ripple Labs Chief Technology Officer, recently discussed the latest development in the company's legal battle with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. A post on X previously Twitter. A post on X previously Twitter. Schwartz's observations are timely in that they provide light on the SEC's reasoning for its recent appeal. Schwartz summarizes the SEC's approach, which centers on the Commission's belief that the litigation has not yet come to a conclusion. This view implies that parties have discretion to file appeals after the completion of the case. The primary goal of this strategy is to streamline the judicial system by preventing the main proceedings from being constantly sidetracked by several appeals on subsidiary rulings. The appeal arose following the crucial ruling by Judge Annalisa Torres on July 13 that XRP is not a security, even when traded on cryptocurrency exchanges. Although the judge ruled in favor of Ripple, the SEC is appealing on the basis of a new legal theory. The problem of parallel proceedings. Schwartz stresses the need of merging appeals and argues that separate appeals might extend the judicial process unduly. However, the current situation presents a complex obstacle. The SEC's position is that this case presents unusual circumstances that call for a departure from the norm. They want to halt the main case until the appeal is heard and decided. Ripple's conviction, though, is unshakable. Until an appeal, the principal case should continue. This approach is consistent with the judicial predilection for moving the main trial forward and dealing with appeals as a whole once the major case has been resolved. In addition to these procedural nuances, Schwartz also felt it was important to clarify rumors that were circulating within the Bitcoin community. There were rumblings that the SEC would appeal Judge Torres's judgment to a higher court. The outcome of the courtroom drama hinges on whether or not the appeal will be admissible, which may significantly alter the trajectory of Ripple Labs' case with the SEC. Linda Jones, a well-known Wall Street veteran, predicts a big rush of institutional money ready to join the XRP market, although the timing remains undetermined. Due to the continuing legal struggle between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, XRP has been a recurring issue among experts, drawing significant interest in 2023. The essence of the issue is the SEC's claim that XRP sales, both primary and secondary, qualify as investment contracts, implying that XRP should be classed as a security. If this accusation is shown to be accurate, Ripple might be accused of executing an unregistered securities offering for more than $1 billion. Furthermore, XRP would be subject to SEC regulatory scrutiny. Numerous experts and XRP supporters say that the long-running legal fight has considerably lowered the token's price. However, Linda Jones believes that institutions would eventually drive XRP's value higher if greater legal clarification is supplied. Although Judge Annalisa Torres recently ruled in Ripple's favor, declaring that secondary XRP purchases do not constitute investment contracts, the legal procedures are far from over. Jones emphasizes the role that congressional legislation would have in raising the price of XRP. In my opinion, institutional money will drive XRP's price higher, Jones says. Legal clarity and structure are required for institutions. One crucial component was the litigation. More congressional legislation is required, but it will be passed. The money will then pour in a massive wave. They're getting ready. While the current legal battle between Ripple and the SEC has brought some early respite for XRP, the final outcome and market direction will be determined by future legal developments. The involvement of institutions and the passage of congressional legislation to provide a clearer legal framework are believed to be critical in unlocking the potential of XRP and drawing significant investment into the digital currency. As the market waits for clarification on XRP's regulatory status, focus shifts to the acts of institutions and politicians whose choices will influence the future of Ripple's asset and possibly release a tsunami of wealth into the XRP ecosystem. According to the SEC complaint, Ripple Labs generated more than $1 billion via the sale of unregistered securities. According to the SEC, XRP is a security since it was marketed by Ripple as an investment contract, which is a sort of financial instrument that allows investors to benefit from the efforts of others. The action filed by the SEC is based on the Howey test, a four-part examination used to evaluate whether a financial item is a security. The following questions are asked on the Howey test. According to the SEC, XRP fulfills all four sections of the Howey test. According to the SEC, XRP investors place their money at risk in the hope of profiting from the efforts of Ripple Labs and other third parties. The SEC further claims that XRP is a common enterprise since it is used to enable Ripple network transactions.